Alright guys, first impressions on the tapepro sander. It's really rigid, so there's no real give to it. So if your corner's not a perfect 90, it doesn't really go into the corners. I don't know if you can kind of see what's going on. So let me see if you can see. Okay, there. You see that build, and then it leaves a little bit of, just like any paper, the scratches since it's brand new, but it doesn't really go into the corners as good as I had hoped. You can kind of see right there what I mean. There's a gap because this corner is not a perfect 90. So if there was some type of flex, I think it would do a way better job at trying to get those corners. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull sand a little, not pull, but yeah, sanded this a little more. But with this type of sandpaper, since it's not going into the corners, I want to say it sands a little bit better than if I were to pull sand each side, with the exception of, let me show you, the parts of the angle that have a high edge because of the inconsistency of the angle box or whatnot do not get sanded unless you hold it to the side and go like that as if it were a pull sander. But it hits both sides at the same time, so it is a bit faster. So for brush down, this would be perfect. Perfect, a lot faster than if you were to do this side first and this side. But for what I wanted it for, which was to get rid of this kind of stuff in the angle that normally we would have to use the sponge to get rid of, it's not really doing it. So I'm gonna change out the sandpaper, try it with a joist, in the hopes of, because it has a little bit more padding, it might do better. So let's see how that does. Okay, so with the pad, it works out way better, and it's actually working out like super good. I wanted to show you on this angle. Let's see, so you can see what I see. So you see these edges right here? I'm gonna kill that edge, and I'm gonna start sanding all of this craziness. But what you gotta do is, I was trying to make this my lead. This is gonna be your lead, so I'll show you why in a minute. But so keep an eye on that part right there. Let me call Garrett to come hold it in place so you can see real time how it's working out. Oh, it's hard to tell, but it erased it. So it goes into the corners pretty well, actually. You just gotta get used to it. But yeah, you gotta do the small side, because the way that they made it, this small side actually goes in tight and there's give. This top side is touching the walls already and there's a gap over there. So the way they designed it is it goes in tight on the small side and gives you some space to breathe on the bottom, so you don't over sand, I guess. But it's really hard to tell, but it got right in there. So that's gonna save a lot of time hand sanding and minimize the touch up. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand out this house, and then I'll do an overall. Okay. All right, so in conclusion, is this worth the money? 100%, or should I say $100? That's how much it is. But yeah, so originally I wanted to sand like this with the tall side leading, but I found out it's easier if I do the short side, because the short side is actually touching the angle. So the way they designed this is this side of this flusher goes tight and this isn't really touching the corners. Then as you go down, this isn't touching the corner anymore, but this is touching the wall. So when you sand, you gotta kind of get used to it. But so if you apply more pressure on the top, you dig in more and it gets those corners a lot better. Over here is more the wide side, but I don't know if you can kind of pick it up on the camera. There's a slight angle right here. So they designed it fairly well. I like it. Totally worth the $100. Does it eliminate the sanding 100%, hand sanding? No, but it does eliminate it a lot. So it is worth it. It does save time, and it's only $100. But the pole that I used was a Columbia. I like that this one's nice and fat, so it made it easier to sand. I'm sure if I use like the skinny extendable one, it'd be a lot harder. But this is nice and hard and stiff, so it made sanding a breeze. And then just a regular adapter for any glazer. But overall, this is a solid addition to your set to help pre-sand all the corners, minimize hand sanding. And in this case, we're gonna texture tomorrow. So in the video, have you seen, so when I was first sanding, it was actually the angle box that we ran yesterday. So we ran it while we first coated. Usually we do it on the second coat, but tomorrow's gonna be our third day taping and we're gonna finish. So the reason we ran the angle box yesterday was so we could touch everything up today, get everything ready to texture. The guys are already masking off. I just finished touching up downstairs. So tomorrow, as soon as we roll up, machine sand all of that. Use this again real quick for the corners. And wow. All right guys, hello. Beautiful view here in Kailua. And it's done. Just finished spraying, cleaning up, doing my final inspection, and we're out of here. Anyways, yeah, so the sander, worth it. I think it's worth it. It's only $100, so it's not going to take care of all the hand sanding, but it does maybe knock down, I want to say maybe 70% of hand sanding. So I think it's good to use in conjunction with the sponge and the auto sander and the CNS sander. A little bit of everything, man. Whatever gets the job done. But we are done. We went with a nice medium, although it looks big on camera. Nice little medium light orange peel. This is gonna get tile, but out here is finished, so we pressure washed it. And pow. All right guys, aloha, have a good one.